Everybody, what's going on? Not sure why that didn't do an auto scene change, but it didn't. ComixDad here, and welcome back if you're an old viewer, or welcome for the first time to the pull list, where I'm just going to sit here and show you what's coming up this week in comics. So you know what to go to your local comic shop and get tomorrow, because tomorrow is New Comic Book Day. Every Wednesday is at your local comic shop. But we are here. We're going to go through that, and then on top of that, I'm gonna go through a couple different publishers. We're going to go publisher by publisher of what's coming out, and then also I'm going to be sharing with you guys just some things that I've been reading recently. Give you some of my thoughts on some stuff that I've read or some stuff that I have here that I'm going to be reading in the very near future, and then we're going to go over just a couple of small comic book related things that we didn't touch on Saturday for my new roundtable podcast that I'm doing with Professor Savage Dad called Savage Comics Bros. So if you missed that the other day, head over to the previous live streams. It's also in the playlist under, Savage Comics Bros. And you can go check that out too. It was fun. We had Brimstone on. We were supposed to have Lapsed Comics Fan as well, but he was preoccupied with something at the last minute. Something came up. Life happens. It's all good. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here to talk about brand new comics. But just give me a second, because for some reason... Okay, cool. Rumble is live now. I will not be able to see the Rumble chat in my studio here. So now, because I had to stop the stream on Rumble and then restart it. So give me 1 second so I can do this. So I can get things appropriately pulled on over. Now I can see things. We're all set. Yep. Okay. Cool. I can do that. So yeah, the Rumble chat will not be, if you're on Rumble, it will not be appearing on the screen. However, if you're on YouTube, X, Kick, or Twitch, your chats will be appearing on the stream. So feel free to hop into the chat as we go through this. But yeah, without further ado, we're just going to hop right in. So welcome to my pull list. And then this website that I'm using, by the way, is a fantastic website. It is called leagueofcomicgeeks.com. Also, you can download their mobile app, but it is a free website. Now, you see up in the... Oh, you can't see up at the corner because my face is in the way, but there's an upgrade button there. So they do have like some paid features that you can use, but you don't need to do anything other than sign up with an email address to be able to catalog your comic book collection, be able to mark what you've read, what you want to add to your collection, and also go and add things to your pull list. Because I use this website and app so much, that's kind of where I got the inspiration for titling this stream. But before we do that, we're going to say hi to our buddy Brimstone, who's in the chat. Brimstone, what's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And because you are the first one in the chat, we are giving you the Selly. Thanks for being here, Brimstone. Good to see you, brother. But so this is just a quick little overview of my pull list. Now, granted, I'm not going to be buying each and every single one of these books. How this stream works is I will add things to my pull list for this show. Now, these are books that I would like to be able to read or to be able to pick up and get at some point for myself. But as you can see over here, I have 16 pulls this week for $76.84. Today's economy right now, currently as things stand, we all got bills to pay. We all got mouths to feed, whether it's our own or other people. So I'm not going and spending $76 in one shot on comic books tomorrow, as much as I would like to. But I just add to this list things that I would like to read, and hopefully things that you all would like to read one way or another, get your hands on some stuff. But just quick little explanation in terms of how that works and what that is. We're going to head on over, and instead of starting with the big two of Marvel and DC, I'm actually going to save those for the end. We're going to try something a little different. Usually I kick off with them, but we're going to head over to some of the smaller publishers, some of the indie publishers and publishers that do publish creator-owned comics. So we're going to try that out. Brimstone said, wouldn't be using this site if it wasn't for his comics guy this comics guy right here, says Brimstone. Yep, that's right, brother. That's right. I introduced Brimstone to this site. By the way, I am not in any way, shape, or form, at least as of right now, affiliated with or sponsored by League of Comic Geeks. I just use their website and their mobile app. I love it. It's great. But who knows? I mean, if one of you guys from League of Comic Geeks is watching, holler at your boy. I'm open to talk. Comics wife would kill you, but yeah. If I came home tomorrow after work and I told the wife, hey, I just spent $76.84 plus tax on comics, she would say one of two things. She would either say, okay, you're out of your mind and you're sleeping on the couch tonight, or she would say it better have been a damn good book, and if it wasn't like a rarer, like Bronze Age or Silver Age book, at that point, yeah, she would also get mad. Because she's like, why are you spending $76 on brand new comic books? At least make it worthwhile. So, but yeah, so this is just a glimpse here. And we're going to go into, actually, that's something we're going to save for later. But we're going to go into our first publisher here. Our first publisher is going to be Mad Cave Studios. So Mad Cave Studios, right off the bat, you can see I have these two on my pull list. We've got Dick Tracy and The Last Starfighter. So if anybody's familiar with either one of those, especially Dick Tracy being an old detective, both, I believe, movie or television show way back in the day, back in probably like the 40s or 50s, if I remember correctly. But then also Dick Tracy had comic strips in newspapers back in the day as well. You remember those? Comic strips in newspapers, huh? Yeah, we're old, or we're getting there. And then The Last Starfighter. This is obviously a comic book adaptation of the 1980s sci-fi film of the same title. But we're going to take a quick look at this. So this is Dick Tracy number 18. And just a quick little synopsis. Who will break first? It's an all-out war in the streets as Breathless Maloney and her surprising allies make their move. Once Dick Tracy was invincible in this city, now that yellow trench coat will turn red. Who dies next? The gritty epic continues. Now, I've been wanting to get into this. I do love myself a good detective story. I know my buddy Brimstone here in the chat, he's been reading it. He's been enjoying Dick Tracy. So if he's been enjoying it and he likes it, I take his word for it. And also, again, I'm a fan of detective stories. I like a good mystery, but it's got a flow too. Like that's why I'm not a big DC guy, but I do like Batman because he is the world's greatest detective, at least over in the DC universe side of things. So it's not just all about the action; it's also about putting the pieces together, solving the mystery, and putting that sleuth hunch to work and those detective skills to work. But you've been reading Phantom from Mad Cave. I'm sorry. I knew you were reading something from Mad Cave. Well, roll with me, Brimstone. Just say you've been reading Dick Tracy. Well, fine. Minus Brimstone not actually reading Dick Tracy. I like myself a good detective story. So I am going to recommend Dick Tracy this week on the pull list. And then we have The Last Starfighter. So if anybody grew up in the 80s, you know of The Last Starfighter. I did not, but I've only seen clips of The Last Starfighter. I was an early 90s kid. But I know of The Last Starfighter, though. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, hey, that's that movie. But just a quick little synopsis, just for in case anybody is not familiar with what The Last Starfighter is. Small-town teenager Alex Rogan has already saved multiple worlds, but that was only the beginning of his story. 40 years after the cult classic movie that pioneered CGI and inspired generations of fans, an all-new story picks up from the end credits and takes off for the stars. Now the leader and sole member of the Star League, Alex must rebuild the galaxy's only defense force against Xur and the Kodan Armada, introducing a new cast of starfighters alongside fan-favorite faces and new killers and cutthroats in the shadowy employ of Kodan. The Last Starfighter number 1 launches a sci-fi legacy to new heights. Again, I am also a fan of sci-fi. And just this sounds like there's going to be a lot of action in there. And for anybody who has seen The Last Starfighter back in the day, they are going to be building off of it. And comic books can do things that movies in the 80s couldn't do. So expect some really cool sci-fi action sequences. It sounds like some edge of your seat thrills and maybe chases or something like that with some killers and cutthroats that are new to the franchise. But this also is going to be a pull list recommendation as well. Just for anybody that likes the nostalgia, I've been getting really into nostalgia titles over the last I think it's been about a year since I've done an episode of this. So yeah, I've been getting really into nostalgia titles over the last year, and so the last Starfighter, I mean, like 90% of nostalgia titles, I'm just gonna add them to my pull list anyway. Maybe 8%, but yeah, go ahead and add that there now. Now, I'm not going to go through every single book on all of these lists for these publishers, just the ones that look interesting to me, or whether they look interesting in a positive way or a negative way, because I will give also some recommendations on things to avoid as well. But Gotcha Man, Red Impulse #3, if anybody is familiar with Gotcha Man, it's another Super Sentai type of series, if anybody knows what Super Sentai is. But Gotcha Man is just, he's like a falconish dude, and he goes and he saves the day one story at a time. More sci-fi type of stuff with some Asian influence there because it is Gotcha Man. Steve Orlando is the writer. I'm not too familiar with Steve Orlando's work. I've heard the name before though, and I've never heard anything bad about anybody say anything bad about him. So Red Impulse #3, Gotcha Man. If you're into Super Sentai stuff, and if you're into Gotcha Man, if you know what Gotcha Man is, go ahead and grab it. Throw it on your pull list. But that is going to be it for Mad Cave Studios. Brimstone says, most excited for this week, The Dead Man. I feel like I saw that earlier. Was that out of Titan? All right, hold on. I'm gonna filter down. No, that wasn't out of Titan. Because I did see that earlier. Was that out of Vault? Oh no, that's Dead Acre I was thinking of. But I do have this book, Dead Acre. So you know what? We'll get into that real quick as well. So, real quick, the only book that I have on my list this week out of Vault Comics, the publisher Vault Comics, is called Dead Acre, Black Badge #1. Now, Weird Westerns have been making a little bit of a resurgence, at least in the small publisher and the indie scene, over the last, I'd say, probably 6 months or so. Between Rippaverse now finally announcing one with Mike Barron writing it, and then Mike Barron just successfully funding the second volume of his own Weird Western crowdfunder that he's been working on for the last few years, called Bronze Star. And then on top of that, now there is Zaid Comics. My buddy Phil Diaz over at Zaid Comics, he has a Weird Western that's 2 issues in as well, called The Man with No Strings. And if I pull up my thing here, there we go. I got the Weird Western Man with No Strings here. So Weird Westerns are having a small resurgence in the indie and small publisher scene. So let's get into what Dead Acre is real quick. Life isn't simple for a demon hunter. James Crowley met his mortal end in a hail of gunfire. Now he finds himself in purgatory, serving the White Throne to avoid falling to hell. Not quite undead, though not alive either, the best he could hope for is to work off his servitude and fade away. His not-so-sacred duty as a hand of God. What? Why is that written with a question mark? His not-so-sacred duty is to be a hand of God, use his new abilities to hunt down demonic beings that have infiltrated the mortal realm. This time, the White Throne has sent him to the middle of nowhere, a western town called Dead Acre. And that right there, if you're into battles between heaven and hell, angels and demons and devils and all that stuff, and you like a western story on top of it with some gunslinging, this is going to be right up your alley. Written by Rhett Bruno and Jamie Castle and Cullen Bunn, worked on the story and wrote it. Riley Brown is the artist. Riley Brown also is, I believe, working on something else right now too. I just saw Riley Brown's name pop up on something else I was looking at earlier today. I cannot remember what it was though. But I mean, Riley Brown also did this cover though. So look at that cover there. Look at that cover there. That's a beautiful cover. So if you want a really awesome cover and what sounds to be like an exciting supernatural western tale, Dead Acre Black Badge out of Vault Comics. Go pick that up at your local comic shop if they carry Vault comics. Now, Brimstone says, "Oh, let's get your chat off there, buddy." Actually, you know what? Let me change that so the social comments disappear. There we go. Cool. Now it won't be lingering, so I don't forget. Brimstone said, "Oh, the Dead Man DC." Okay. Yep, I will be getting there, Brimstone. Like I said, man, I'm doing something different this time. I'm going to start with the small publishers first, and then work my way up to Marvel and DC. So we got a few more to go through. But this next publisher is IDW. IDW does not have a lot going on for it, especially after their editor-in-chief basically told everybody to not go buy X-Men Elsewhere, written by John Byrne, which I planned on picking up anyway. So because Heather Antos, I think her name's Heather Antos, that dumbass from IDW, editor-in-chief, who can't keep her mouth shut and just let people write comics and write books and buy what they want to buy. Thank you, because I would have waited to get X-Men Elsewhere a little bit, but I budgeted and I made sure I got it last week. So thank you, Heather Antos. Oh, Raging Wolf is in the chat. He says, "Turtles. I like turtles." So does the Queen. Queen Comics' wife likes turtles too. Raging Wolf. Thanks for being here, brother. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, so we're in IDW right now. And we're going to... There, we'll blow that up a little bit. And IDW really only has a couple things going for it. Godzilla, when Marvel isn't doing a Godzilla book, because I've noticed that when Marvel does a Godzilla book, IDW is not releasing one. At least in the same week. And then when IDW has one, Marvel's not releasing one. So I don't know if they have an agreement or not, because pretty sure IDW owns the publishing rights to Godzilla. So that's probably how they're also still in business, because Marvel's paying them for the rights to use Godzilla in their own books. Rachel said if I didn't come, the Queen would beat me up. Well, she's at work right now, man, so you're safe. But yeah, so you got Godzilla. If you're a Godzilla fan, you can definitely pick up some Godzilla stuff. And then Ninja Turtles is the only really other thing they have going on for them ever since they lost Transformers to Image. But you got a couple different Ninja Turtle sales going on here. But let's check out this Godzilla one first. So we got Godzilla number 12, Discovered Truth About the Girl with the Power of Biolante, as the second arc of the Godzilla ongoing series comes to a close. Well, this cover is pretty badass. Who did the cover? Hendry Prasetya. He did a fantastic job. Tim Seeley is writing this. Okay. So, the boy with the power of Godzilla, the girl with the power of Biolante, and a truth that will rattle G-Force to its core. Something rotten is happening at the center of this world, and Jason is going to get to the bottom of it. Now, sometimes a comic book will sell me on its cover. This cover is cool, so although I may not be picking up this issue this week, what I will say is if you want to go check out maybe a little bit of a different Godzilla story, kind of like a Kaiju number 8 type of deal is what it seems like based on this summary of this issue, because I am not well read on this particular Godzilla series. So, but it seems like just what this says here: girl with the power of Biolante, boy with the power of Godzilla. That basically reminds me of like Kaiju number 8. So, if anybody's familiar with Kaiju number 8, the manga or the anime. So if you're into that kind of stuff, if you're into Kaiju in general, and people having Kaiju powers, go check out this series, see if you can go find back issues of it. If you can't, you could do one of two things. You can wait till the trade paperback comes out, which is going to be in January of next year. Or you can go out there, and as much as I maybe don't recommend it, times are tough. Things are getting harder and harder to find from smaller publishers, and also back issues. And on top of that, things are getting more and more expensive, not just in comics, but just in the world in general. So if you got to find an alternative way to read something digitally for a very steep, if not zero cost. If that's what you got to do, go ahead and do it. I'm not going to be telling you where, why, where, or how. That's up to you. Raging Wolf has an excellent question. He says, do they still make Judge Dredd comics, and how are they? So you know what? Since you asked that question, we're going to pull up our filter here, and I believe it is Rebellion. So if you're not familiar with what 2000 AD is, Raging Wolf, 2000 AD is where Judge Dredd gets published in. So if your local comic shop, all you gotta do is call them and say, hey, are you going to have 2000 AD in this week? And if they say yes, then you go over there and you grab it, because Judge Dredd is typically published within 2000 AD, because 2000 AD usually has multiple stories, kind of an anthology type of book with recurring titles, almost like a Shonen Jump type of deal. So, but yeah, so if you're looking for Judge Dredd, go call up your local shops, see if they have 2000 AD number 2489, which is this week's release from Rebellion, and also any subsequent issues of 2000 AD, because that's where you're going to get your Judge Dredd. But so we covered the Godzilla, so we have 2 Ninja Turtle titles here. I'm going to be ignoring Invent Horizon Inferno and the Killer Influences. We'll go over that real quick, because that's actually going to be our first book that I do not recommend this week. So here, we'll do that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Journeys, number 11. I have been getting caught up on like the indies and crowdfunded books that I've been reading, and I've been doing some reading of like older back issues. I am familiar with the current Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle run, but I do not know what this Journey series is. Mind you guys, also, this is my first pull list back in, when was the last pull list I did? I think about a year ago. So I've been doing the best I can to get caught up on my comic reading. Please forgive me if I'm not as in tune and in touch with a lot of the different things that I'm going to be talking about and covering. It's more just going to be reading summaries, giving my impressions, at least for the first couple of weeks, until I can get more familiar with some of the stuff that's come out over the last year. But Master Splinter was a righteous warrior with a mighty heart who raised 4 brave sons. Those sons, the Ninja Turtles, now gather to do what all children dread, see their father into the afterlife. Yeah, let's pull that up. There we go. But as they mourn, the world rages on. In New York City, vampires are hitting the streets, and a new threat takes on the foot. So it seems like it's just its own different stories. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stories. And Peter Laird. Oh, that's why it's Journeys, because Peter Laird, one of the co-creators, the legend, besides Kevin Eastman, is actually writing this. So you know what? I now need to go to my local shop, and I need to see if they have this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Journeys. I think actually Jim Lawson, Eric Talbot, Journeys might be. Oh yeah, okay. So this is a reprint. So this is a reprint of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from August of 2003. That's what this is. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Journeys is a series of reprints from the early 2000s. So if you're into that, if you like getting your reprints, if you can't find stuff, and even then, this early 2000 reprint is probably a reprint from the 80s or the 90s too. But if you like Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman and Ninja Turtles, go pick up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Journeys. And then for those of you who are fans of the 80s Ninja Turtle, 80s and early 90s Ninja Turtle cartoon, this Saturday Morning Adventures, I started reading this when this first came out, and it was exactly what it seemed. It's a villain of the week type of deal. It's an episodic, non-connected stories. You pick up a book, you read it, you have a good time. So I can always recommend a Saturday Morning Adventures Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There is no way you're not going to enjoy it. Eric Burnham, he's not the first one to be writing on it. I don't remember who was the original writer, because I remember reading the first, I want to say it was 4 or 5 issues when it first came out. This is a trade paperback. Oh, there you go. We have our first trade paperback on the list too. So this is Volume 8 trade paperback. It collects issues 27 to 31 of Saturday Morning Adventures. So go ahead and grab that, definitely, because it's a collection. It collects 5 issues for you. Save yourself a little bit of money as well, because instead of paying $5 a comic, you're paying $17 for 5 instead of paying $25 for 5. So go ahead and go pick that up. Now, this is our last one out of IDW Publishing. It's called Killer Influences. I'm going to read this real quick. It's a new #1, a new title out of IDW, and then we're gonna share our thoughts on it real quick. So, Killer Influences follows Melvin, a serial killer who is aspiring to be one of the most infamous to ever do it, a true American nightmare. His problem? He's so efficient and methodical that he doesn't have a brand. No one has connected his crimes except for Kylie, an aspiring true crime influencer who is flailing at a small town newspaper. Let's stop it right there. That's already... What's wrong? Hold on one second, guys. One of the kiddos came in. Are you hungry? Is that your problem? I need some water. Lay down and lay on your side. Okay? If you gotta do something, run into your bathroom and then you come tell me after. Okay? All right, but you need to try to go to bed. Lay in your bed sideways. Close my door. Have a sweet sip of water. Lay sideways in your bed. Okay? Right. Sorry about that. She was saying that her tummy wasn't feeling too good. It's also bedtime. I think she doesn't want to go to bed. But anyway, so like I said, only person to connect the crimes of the serial killer is Kylie, an aspiring true crime influencer. An influencer. Remember that. When she comes across Melvin's crimes and reaches out to him, she figures out how she's going to become a star. She will give Melvin the identity he needs to be the iconic serial killer he wants to be, while she follows his exploits on her channel and becomes famous. Kylie and Melvin make a pact that will make their dreams come true and destroy their lives in the process. Everything that's wrong with society right now is also wrong with the synopsis of what this title is. You have an influencer that has no morals, that is okay with people dying and being killed by a serial killer if it means that she can become famous doing a podcast on it. Also, you got this serial killer who's, well, he's a friggin' serial killer. I mean, I think it's kind of fun. I think it is a little in a dark way, in like a dark humor way. It is kind of funny that he's so efficient at his crimes that nobody could connect dots on any of his murders that it is a serial killer. So that is like in a dark humor kind of way. That's humorous. That's kind of funny. But the thing that sickens me is that somebody has the mind, Joey Esposito apparently, has the mind to say, hey, an influencer is going to let this dude continue killing people and she's going to make money off of it. Like, I don't really have much to say about this other than two things. One,
Why?
And then the other is just...
That is one big pile of shit.
Yeah, that's all I got for that. Yo, what's going on, Wayfarer? Wayfarer in the chat says, like and subscribe, good people, and then he's going in the lurk mode. Thank you so much for being here, Wayfarer. I appreciate it, my man. But yeah, so that's going to be our first negative recommendation on the poll list. Killer Influences #1 out of IDW Publishing. If it still sounds like it's for you, I'm not going to judge you, but God will. I'll leave it like that. Okay, now we're getting it. Actually, let me take a sip of my drink real quick. Now we're getting into IDW Publishing. IDW Publishing, famous for Hellboy. And then they do some other like monster and horror type of stuff. They also do, for anybody that's into D&D or Critical Role, they do the Critical Role, Vox Machina and Mighty Nine comics as well. But we are bringing this up mostly because there are some people out there that like some Frankenstein stuff and that also like some Hellboy stuff going on. And Mike Mignola is just writing up a storm, especially because we have a facsimile edition here of Hellboy as well. But Young Hellboy, if anybody wants to read the exploits of Young Hellboy, and the adventures that he goes on, you're more than welcome to do that. This is issue 2 in a 4-issue series. I believe Mike Mignola writes this as well. Let's take a quick look. He does. Mike Mignola pretty much writes everything Hellboy. I mean, he has co-writers on some, like he has this one right here, Tom Snigoski. Sure, we'll say that. But Mike Mignola has his fingerprints over everything Hellboy. He has not stopped. He may not be directly writing everything now, but he still has his hand involved in the story and the overall IP of Hellboy. But so we got that, and then we got this facsimile edition, 2026 facsimile of Hellboy: Seed of Destruction #1. As you can see here, it features first appearances of a bunch of characters that you may be familiar with if you are a Hellboy fan. I, unfortunately, was never the biggest fan of Hellboy, but it's never too late. So, there's a black and white anniversary, 25th anniversary Virgin variant of this as well, which looks really, really neat. Might actually get that. But yeah, and but yeah, this is a earlier Hellboy story. If you like facsimile editions, or if you like actually collecting older comics, but you can't afford to go grab the actual first edition, first printing of an older book, facsimile editions are a great thing to go get. Just keep an eye out for it. Ask your local comic shop. Use leagueofcomicgeeks.com or their mobile app. Also, you can look up to see when facsimiles are going to be coming up. If you filter in New Comics, you can it has it filtered out by regular issues, annuals, trade paperbacks, hardcovers, and reprints. The facsimile editions will always be under the reprints category, so keep an eye out for those if you like facsimile edition to as the next best thing if you can't get an actual first printing of an older book. But that's all from Dark Horse I want to go over. Yeah, that was it. Now we've got Boom Studios. Boom Studios, at least in my mind, I like Boom Studios for primarily two things: for Power Rangers and for a title, an IP called Something's Killing the Children. It sounds dark, kind of is, but it's a monster hunting type of deal. But also there's like internal monster hunter type of politics and stuff. These are the people that fight off the things that go bump in the dark that only children can see. But like we'll talk more about Something's Killing the Children when there's an issue coming up, which will be later this month or later in the month of July. But the only thing that I have on here, if anybody is familiar with Keanu Reeves' Berserker, this is a new storyline. Berserker: Light Draws Breath. This is the second printing. It means the first issue of this storyline came out a month or two ago, and it was in such in demand by stores. And also by people who put in pre-orders and ordered before final order cutoff, or FOC. So they rushed it to a second print. I wasn't the biggest fan of the original Berserker storyline from, what was it, 10-issue, 12-issue run from back in 2022, 2023, something like that, long before I started the channel. But so I didn't think it was. I mean, it was okay. It was all right. I could see where they were going with it, but it wasn't the most interesting thing to me. But I tried to stick through it because I'm a big Keanu Reeves fan. But it didn't really do anything for me. If you like Berserker, you like Keanu Reeves, but especially if you liked Berserker, the original run of Berserker, go ahead and pick up this second printing of Light Draws Breath #1. For me, I have Boom Studios pulled up because it's all about Power Rangers Unlimited #1. Now, out of Boom Studios, there have been multiple Power Rangers titles. It's been Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Then it's been Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin as two separate titles. Then it's been Power Rangers Unlimited here, but there was, I think, another Power Rangers Unlimited run about a year ago as well that was like a 5-issue miniseries or something. Like, there's all sorts of Power Ranger stuff that Boom Studios has been going on about. Some of it's awesome, some of it not so much. The main storyline of Power Rangers, when it was first being published in Boom Studios, that was really, really good. That finished up about 2 years ago, I think. And then they've just been kind of dangling and throwing different stuff out there ever since. But I mean, I'm always willing to give a new Power Rangers title a shot within the first 1 or 2 issues. So I'm going to be doing the same thing here. But we'll get into a quick synopsis of this. Get ready for groundbreaking new series featuring all your favorite Rangers across time and space. Because that's right, it's not just the OG Power Rangers, it's Power Rangers from all the different generations. This is it, Power Rangers fans. All of your favorite Rangers from every season and every series of the long-running television and comic series will finally be united in ways you've never dreamed. So this is setting up possibly as maybe another 5-issue miniseries at a mysterious base on the planet Aquitar. A more phenomenal program is taking shape under the guidance of the eccentric operator. The striking Tiger Unlimited Ranger calls upon Power Rangers from across time and space to form elite teams and battle rising evil. In this first issue of this ongoing series, get ready as Power Rangers super fans. Joey Esposito. Oh, great! So the guy that wrote that serial killer title out of what was it, IDW, that I was saying not to buy. Fantastic. Kenny Porter, The Flash, Fastest Man Alive, and Fearless. I mean, I'm still going to give it a shot, even though Joey Esposito is part of it, because I'll stick with it just because the dude is weird and demented and needs Jesus. Because of that serial killer title we were talking about out of IDW, doesn't mean I'm not going to give this a shot. But anyway. They're going to draw from across 30 years of Power Rangers canon to bring together unlimited dream teams of your favorite Rangers. And they've done that with the TV shows in the past as well. So you're getting just basically a conglomerate of Power Rangers goodness with this. So if you want it, I'm going to be checking it out. It's on my pull list because, like I said, I always will check out the first 1 or 2 issues of new Power Rangers title. It's just nostalgia for me. But also, Power Rangers titles, they've been hit or miss for the most part. I've found in my personal experience, I like the majority of the Power Rangers stuff that has come out over the last, 6-7 years, something like that, 7-8 years, something like that Boom Studios has been doing Power Rangers. I also like the Power Rangers and Ninja Turtle crossovers that happen as well. They just finished up their 3rd one, I think, late last year, early this year. So they're going to be doing a 4th one at some point, and I'm definitely going to be grabbing that as well. But that's not what we're talking about. Out of Boom Studios, Power Rangers Unlimited, #1. Put it on your pull list, because it's on mine. Here we go. Now we're getting into the bigger hitters. Here we go with Image Comics. Right off the bat, Image staple, legacy title, Spawn 357. If you're a fan of Spawn, you know what you're getting, and you're going to get more of the same goodness. Also, you have two Spawn Spawn offshoot titles here, branched off from Spawn, both the Scorched, which is a team of just a bunch of different Spawns come together, save the day, and then you've also got She Spawn here. The Scorched is not on my pull list, but She Spawn is, and we'll get to that in a minute. Also, real quick on here, we've also got Transformers the movie, the 40th anniversary of the comic book adaptation of the 40-year-old Transformers movie, where Optimus Prime dies in the first 20-25 minutes, and then takes over, or Hot Rod takes over as Rodimus Prime. That was released as a 3-issue comic book adaptation in the same year as the movie, so 1986, I believe. Marvel Comics initially published it, but this is basically a reprint, just with an updated cover out of Image Comics. You're a big Transformers fan, even if you weren't a fan of the movie, this is still just a cool thing to have for your collection, so go ahead and pick that up. I don't know much about any of these other titles out of Image. Savage Dragon. I'm always going to say put Savage Dragon in the trash, because Savage Dragon hasn't been relevant in 30 years, and even when Savage Dragon was relevant, it wasn't good. And Eric Larson, although he did a pretty good job on Spider-Man and other titles at Marvel back in the day and in his career, Savage Dragon was his own thing. Savage Dragon is not good. And on top of that, Eric Larson is also just an insane friggin' far left nut job. So if he at least wrote good stories, I'd be able to look past it, but he doesn't anymore. So, that's it. And even then, he never really wrote a good Savage Dragon as far as I'm concerned. But he at least did great art with Spider-Man back in the day, so I'll give him that much. Let's just go through the rest of this stuff here real quick. Okay, we got some reprintings down here of Radiant Black, Lost Fantasy, Fireborn. Fireborn is a title that spawned off of Lost Fantasy. Lost Fantasy is a really fun, awesome title as well. If you're into like modern day fantasy, like magic and shit, not like not like weird bedroom fantasy. If you're into modern day magic and fantasy and action, but also a mystery, also a mystery tied into your story as well, Lost Fantasy is a great series. I love Lost Fantasy so much that I picked up Fireborn 1 and 2, which is a 4-issue miniseries spawned branching off of Lost Fantasy, written both by Kurt Pierce. So go pick that up. But we'll talk more about Lost Fantasy when number 11 comes out this coming month. Radiant Black, second printing is coming out as well. Radiant Black, if you're into superheroes but don't like the traditional superhero, Radiant Black is Kyle Higgins' kind of take on superheroes, part of his universe called the Massive Verse out of Image Comics. Issue 42, I'm a little bit behind on Radiant Black. I'm about 8 issues behind. But issue 42 supposedly is the end of an arc and completely changes the game for the title for the series moving forward. People have loved it, from my understanding. So if you haven't read it, go pick it up. Second printing's coming out this week. Some George Perez hardcover artist editions of New Teen Titans. George Perez, may he rest in peace, legendary artist. I have the New Teen Titans annual number 1, where he did the cover and the art and everything. I found that a couple weeks ago. Great grab. But if you don't have something like that and you love George Perez's work like I do, go grab them. You are going to pay $150 per hardcover. So just be aware of that. You know what? I've said everything I need to say about Savage Dragon. We're not even going to talk about it more. Ghost Machine guidebook. I don't really know what these Ghost Machine guidebooks are about, but Ghost Machine is a conglomerate of writers and artists and pencilists and inkers and colorists and from across DC and Marvel, predominantly DC, but from across DC and Marvel over the last a couple of decades. You got people like Jeff Johns, Jason Fabik, Brad Anderson, a couple other real notable names in there as well that unfortunately I can't just remember off the top of my head. But they've been releasing these guidebooks, which I think just has extended lore about the different titles in their overarching franchise called Ghost Machine. Now they have different universes and stories within that. They have Rook Exodus, they have Redcoat, they have Geiger, they have the Rockefellers, they have Hornsby and Halo, Hyde Street. So they have all sorts of things: horror, adventure, action, sci-fi, post-apocalyptic, history, superheroes. Like, if you like any of that stuff, go pick up a Ghost Machine title. You can thank me later. They also have a new one that came out last month that I'm going to be talking about because I read it just yesterday and I thought it was great for number 1 issue. But all of that said, in Radiant Black number 43, as we were just talking about 42 down here, 43 is the start of a new story arc. So definitely go ahead, if you're a fan of Radiant Black, go ahead and grab that as well. But at the end of the Catalyst War, Nathan Burnett moved to Los Angeles to take another swing at his writing career. So how's that going? Okay, so basically this is a character that was a main character for the first 30 issues. He was one of the 2 main characters. Then he became a side character after issue 30. And so we're going to be seeing what's been going on with him in this issue, I guess. And it looks like also that they have changed artists. Giona Zefrio is going to be joining the team to be the new artist on the interiors. And Kyle Higgins, and then yikes. Kyle Higgins is the mind behind Radiant Black, so we're just going to focus on Kyle Higgins. Met him a couple of times before at a couple of cons. Nice guy. He has a Substack if you want to keep up to date on things that he has going on. But Radiant Black number 43, go ahead and check it out. It's on my pull list. She Spawn number 3. This is the thing out of Image I really wanted to talk about. First off, look at that cover. That is a beautiful and badass cover. I don't know too much about She Spawn. I am not. Spawn is actually one of the things in 2027 that I just want to take some time, take like 2 months, dive all in, and just get caught up on the world of Spawn and the lore of Spawn and the titles that branch off of it, like Scorched and She Spawn and Medieval Spawn and Gunslinger Spawn and King Spawn. So it's just one of those things that I've always wanted to get into because I remember the movies, or I remember the movie from when I was a real young kid, and then I remember they had the animated series as well. But it's just one of those things that I never managed to pick up and start reading. But that's going to be my plan for 2027. But This is number 3 of She Spawn, and the blurb real quick, has me just interested because with the truth about the mysterious child now known, Jessica must make a hard choice: save the child or potentially change the course of the entire world. So it sounds like that there is maybe some kind of a moral decision in there. We'll see. It's got me a little iffy because, like, if she doesn't save the child, unless it's a demon child, like a literal demon child, the choice should be save the child. So this could be kind of a make or break issue for She Spawn in terms of how it's going to go over based on the choices she makes. But to see how that plays out, you're going to read it, and that's why it's in my pull list here. But also, just look at that. That cover is beautiful. Marco Fiala, if that's how you say his name, the cover artist here, he did a wonderful job. But that's going to be it for Image. Next up, we are going into Dynamite Entertainment, aka Dynamite Comics. Dynamite is what I call the true nostalgia publisher. And the reason why I call Dynamite that is because you can see right there, Dynamite has Red Sonja, which originated at Marvel. They do a whole bunch of Red Sonja stuff. They also have Vampirella. They also have Disney IPs as well. Dynamite does Disney IPs. But it's not just retellings of Disney tales and Disney movies and stuff. It's actually continuing the story, or it's filling in the blanks of things that happen in between scenes in the movies or in between movies themselves. But also, Dynamite also has Space Ghost, which I've absolutely been loving. Volume 2 of Space Ghost is just wrapping up. The second annual for it is coming out later this month in July to wrap up finally wrap up that whole second volume. Hopefully they leave it open for a third because David Pepos has been crushing it with Space Ghost. I was more of a fan of Volume 1 of Space Ghost than 2, but we're not talking about Space Ghost. We're talking about just Dynamite in general. So if Lilo and Stitch, that was one of my favorite movies as a kid. I always give a Lilo and Stitch title a shot. So if you like Lilo and Stitch, give it a read. If you like The Lion King, go give it a grab. You probably won't be disappointed, but I can't speak to it. And then Red Sonja, honestly, Red Sonja at this point, they're just trying to do something with it because they own the publishing rights. Red Sonja by Marvel is going to be peak Red Sonja. It is going to be the definitive Red Sonja. I don't care what anybody says. That's just my opinion. But if you're into the nostalgia titles and if you're into Disney stuff, Dynamite is where you want to be. I'm not going to put any of these on my do not read, but I'm not necessarily going to put any of these on my pull list this week either. That being said, we are moving in to DC. We are in one of the big two finally. And the way that these are sorted, I just went down the list of publishers. It's based on number of titles that they have coming out. So DC has the third largest number of titles coming out this month, or at least this week, I should say. And boy howdy, do we have some things to get into. We're gonna kick it off down at the bottom. We'll go through, see what if there's any trade paperbacks or facsimile editions, reprints coming out, which looks like there are some. Batman 127. It looks like it's sketch cover facsimile variant. So inside will still be 100% like Batman 127, but the outside is a blank sketch cover. If you want to come across an artist, have them sketch something on the cover for you, you have the ability to do that. Same thing with Avengers and JLA number 2. There's also a facsimile edition, but here is Batman number 27 facsimile edition. It is a foil variant. Now, foil comic book covers have, at least over the last year, it seems like, in my opinion, I've noticed them a lot more. I don't know if they've been a big thing since before last year, but really right around this time last year is when I started noticing a lot more foil variants of stuff coming out. So if you're into foil covers and foil variants, this be a really cool piece if you want an older Batman book, but with a foil cover. So you pick that up. Swamp Thing number 1 from 1989, second printing in a foil virgin cover. This is not a facsimile edition. The title is actually Swamp Thing 1989, so it takes place in 1989. But this is just the first issue of it. It's second printing. Robin Year 1 trade paperback coming out. Here is just regular Batman 127 facsimile. You got that there. Batman and Robin Volume 3, The Quiet Man trade paperback. DC Whip. And this is just a black and white edition of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, who Brimstone, which is a title that my boy Brimstone unfortunately had the displeasure of reading. He did a review on it on his channel. Go check out Brimstone if you want to see that, because I sure as shit won't read it, and I sure as shit won't do a review on it. But much love to Brimstone and for being able to he's doing the hero's work out there. He's doing the thankless job out there. We're going to get a couple of these up here. So if you're into Sonic, Sonic and DC have been doing crossovers for the last couple of years now. This is, I think, the third or fourth mini. They usually do them in issues of sets of 5 or 6 issues. This is like the third or fourth one. So if you're into power suits and Sonic and DC superheroes and team ups and all that stuff, go ahead and grab that. We're just going to new tab the stuff that's on our radar this week. Grab that. And we're going to grab these. Okay, cool. So we are going to start with 100 Bullets, the U.S. of Anger #1. And we're just going to read the blurb here. So it says, Happy 250th America. Lano's back. You won't survive the year. Not many people made it out alive from the fall of the trust in 100 Bullets. Lano did, just barely, and it sent him spiraling on a years-long international odyssey. His one-time protege, Luke Hughes, was the only one smart enough to walk away clean, but now tragedy has come knocking on Luke's door, and the scent of blood has attracted a dangerous stray dog. Lano is back in the United States, and he's on the hunt. Through a network of good old boys and militias, megachurches, millionaires, and madmen, and Brother Lano unsuccessfully tried to save his own soul. In the U.S. of Anger, he'll play Satan to a host of demons, tempting the United States to sell hers. The multi-Eisner Award-winning team, Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Riso, has returned to its most famous creation, unleashing a new chapter in Vertigo's greatest crime saga. Vertigo is an imprint of DC. Told for the first time in stunning black and white. So, just based on that, it seems like that there is a chance that this may go down the path of you're going to get your stereotypical liberal, super liberal leftist views and takes on what a Republican is or what a far-right extremist is. With that said, I mean, it sounds like it could still be kind of badass potentially. Just a lot of action, a lot of gunplay, a lot of violence. So if you're into a title that does a lot of that stuff, go ahead and grab it. Just be warned that if you are not a fan of political stereotypes, it sounds like that this may not be the book for you. So I'll say what I said. What I said about that. But yeah, and also it's in black and white, so the art's probably fantastic on the inside regardless. So this is one that I wanted to talk about. I was late to the game on this one. Batman, Green Arrow, and The Question, Arcadia #4. This is a team-up book. Obviously, it is a 4-part book. It's cardstock cover, so it's a very sturdy book. It's a 32-page book. Gabriel Hardman's been writing it and doing the art in it. I saw book #3 at my local shop when I was there last week. I picked it up. I took a quick flip through. Guys, this, at least visually, I didn't sit there and read it in the comic shop because, I want, if I'm going to read it, I'm going to pay for it and take it home. But I didn't read 1 or 2, so I was just flipping through 3 when I saw it in the comic shop. But just the art alone, guys, you are going to love this book. You're absolutely going to love this book. And this is #4 of 4 in a 4-part mini-series, mini-event. And we're just going to read it real quick. Don't miss the shocking conclusion. Under siege in a blizzard, Batman, Green Arrow, and The Question and the refugees of Arcadia must go to war with a mercenary army commanded by a desperate petty billionaire. Our heroes will emerge forever changed if they survive. I wish I knew about this title sooner than a week ago. Because if I knew about this 3 months ago when it first came out, it looks beautiful on the inside. The cover matches that as well, and I would have read the story. But here, we'll go to number one real quick. There we go. So this is a synopsis of number one, so you know what you're getting into. If you want to go back, grab 1, 2, and 3 before grabbing 4 tomorrow or today, depending upon when you're watching this, because Wednesday is New Comic Book Day. So from the decaying husk of Hub City, Vic Sage, the Question, goes deep undercover on the trail of a human trafficking operation in the frozen Arctic. Alpha Queen Green Arrow, the pushed out of his own company's C-suite, must get his crumbling life back together. But what is Queen Industries' involvement with a mysterious project dubbed Arcadia? Spurred on by the Question, Green Arrow joins the hunt for answers, but one obstacle stands in the way of their investigation: Batman. Writer artist Gabriel Hardman comes back DC Black Label with a hard-boiled modern twist on the DC social thrillers of the 1980s, updating his opinionated trio of lone wolf vigilantes for the era of open class warfare and ecological collapse. A lot of intrigue, like a lot of mystery. Sounds like there's some corporate espionage and wrongdoings and some spycraft and a lot of detectiving going on. So if you're able to go pick up number 1, 2, and 3 of Batman, Green Arrow, and the Question Arcadia, you might as well pick up number 4 while you're at your comic book shop tomorrow. Or again, today, depending upon when you're watching this. But you might as well pick up all 4 while you're there. Because if you don't, and they run out, the next chance you're going to have to get this is going to be late in September when they release the hardcover of it. Save yourself a few bucks, but do you want to wait till the end of September? That's what you got to ask yourself. All right, next up in DC, The Dead Man, number 2. Dead Man comes to Gotham. Our eschatological escapades continue in this definitive depiction of DC's deadest do-gooder, the Dead Man. An unknown species of demon has eaten the heaven-bound soul of a highway cyclist, compromising the sanctity of Earth's spiritual man and threatening the fragile glue that holds everything together. At the behest of goodness, Ramakrishna, Boston Brand, a.k.a. the Dead Man, has finally donned his brand new super suit, which is perfect, it turns out, for his latest spectral assignment, a sleuthy sojourn to the city where sin never sleeps, Gotham. And he's going to be a janitor. But yeah, it's something that sounds interesting. Brimstone has been raving about it. He read the first issue. Guys, again, note, I am not the biggest fan of DC. I did not grow up reading DC. I read more Marvel than I did DC. I have heard of the Dead Man. I am not familiar with the Dead Man outside of that, though. But if you are a fan of stuff like that, or if you are a fan of the Dead Man from back in the day, pick this up. Brimstone loved the first issue. I'll take his word for it. So we'll add that to our pull list. Next up, Poison Ivy. Now, I decided to cover this because, I mean, they can only do so much with Poison Ivy. Like, Poison Ivy, the fact that villains get ongoing series is bad enough in my mind. Like a 5-issue miniseries for any villain is perfectly fine with me. The villain story is supposed to be told in the comic book of the hero, which they are part of the rogues gallery of. That is where I stand on that. Poison Ivy is at 46 issues in. What the hell kind of a story could they be telling for Poison Ivy for 46 issues? On top of that, it's also bad enough that Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn are lesbians together. Like, I mean, okay, cool. Like, the immature guy in me is like, yeah, nice. But, like, at the same time, though, it's part of the problem that we've seen in comics over the last, probably a decade at this point almost, is like, they gotta make everything gay. Why does Poison Ivy need to be a lesbian? Why does Harley Quinn need to be a lesbian with Poison Ivy? On top of that, does Harley Quinn take an ointment bath afterwards, like just to avoid rash and all that? Like, what the hell? Why are those things that I need to be asking myself? Because why are they taking characters that are not canonically, part of that persuasion and completely changing something that is fundamental about them, just for the sake of being able to say, hey, we've got this representation. But yeah, I just oh, look, G. Willow Wilson is writing. Fantastic. I'm not a big fan of G. Willow Wilson, so that tells me everything I need to know right there. Poison Ivy, I do not recommend. We're going to give it a thumbs down. I need to grab anybody out there if you're watching, whether live or watching this back. If you or anybody you know is capable of and willing to, at a steep discount or for the cost of zero, be able to create like two graphics that I could throw up onto my screen for recommendations, like a positive approval and a negative recommendation for the pull list. That'd be great. Hit me up on my DMs on X, or you can also email me at thecomixdad@gmail.com. That said, we're getting into the absolute titles now. Absolute Green Lantern has not interested me in the bit. I read the first couple of issues of it. It did not grasp me. Al Ewing, I am not an Al Ewing fan either. I mean, with what he was doing with basically Venom and Mary Jane, with Mary Jane being the new Venom and all that, not a fan of that story. Was not a fan of the first couple issues of Absolute Green Lantern. The Absolute series, or the Absolute tag, the Absolute franchise. Really, the core strengths of the Absolute franchise, in my mind, are obviously, first and foremost, Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman. Now, I need to go back and give this next one a chance. Absolute Wonder Woman. People are saying a lot of great things about Absolute Wonder Woman. I got about 5 or 6 issues in. I think it was 5 issues in. I got bored with it. But if a lot of people, it's what, I think 20, 21 issues in now. If people are still loving it after 20 issues, there may be some, it may possibly pick up after the 4th or 5th issue that I kind of fell asleep reading. So I'm willing to go back, give that a chance. But so yeah, Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman, the Trinity of DC. Absolute Green Arrow #1 was phenomenal. Absolute Catwoman #1 was a load of fun to read. Great story there. And then also, I'll say Absolute Flash is really good too, in my opinion. I have been reading Absolute Flash now. I'm like 6 or 7 issues behind on that, but I have been reading that as well. But yeah, Absolute Green Lantern though. It doesn't hit the mark. It misses the mark, but it doesn't miss the mark nearly as bad as Absolute Martian Manhunter. Absolute Martian Manhunter, I read 1 issue of it, and I said, fuck this book. The very first issue, I hated it. There are people that love it, but also there are people that love it because this guy right here is writing it. And this guy right here, Denise Camp, in my personal opinion, is one of the biggest hacks writing comic books right now. How the hell did this man got to write 24 plus issues of the newest Ultimates and Ultimate Universe for Marvel, and then on top of that, be given a contract to now go write solely for DC, while also writing this piece of crap, Absolute Martian Manhunter, when all he does is inject his politics and his ideologies into everything he writes. Now, comics, people will say, oh, well, comics are meant to be political. Yes, okay, you could put political theming in there, but when literally, like, every third page, there is something about the identity politics or the politics that Denise Camp's completely believes in, whether it's about the far left that he's in support of, or the far right that he thinks are all ists and phobes and Yahtzees and other ists and all that stuff. Like, Denise Camp is a complete and total fucking loser and nut job, in my opinion. He's a hack of a writer. He doesn't write good stories, so anything that his name is attached to, I'm immediately going to just discredit it or discount it for being at best mid and at worst complete and utter dog shit. That's just me though. So yeah, Absolute Martian Manhunter. If you haven't been able to figure it out, Absolute Martian Manhunter #12. We're going to give that a thumbs down. We're going to throw that in the garbage at the comic shop. Now, don't actually do that, because the comic shops, they got to make their money back from the books that they bring into the store. If you're willing to spend $5 to then buy it and then maybe record yourselves ripping it up and throwing it in the garbage, then setting it on fire, then pissing the fire out, have at it. But outside of that, just don't buy it. It's the final issue anyway. Denise Camp's going to be done with that, but Denise Camp is going to start working on a lot more stuff at DC. So that means a lot more DC stuff is going to get terrible. Give me 1 second again, guys. Who's that? Guys, give me 1 second, please. I gotta go see. I think one of the kids tried walking into the room. I gotta see what they need because the kids come first. All right, I'm back. The one of the kids must have pushed the door open. Batman number 11. Now, this is the current Batman run. And fantastic. So let me unplug that. Give me 1 second, guys. I knocked over my drink. Sorry, guys. Just cleaning up this mess before it becomes a much bigger problem. Bear with me for a minute, please. Please and thank you. Fantastic. Okay, cool. We gotta go back in here with the towel. Get that. All right, I think we got it. Crisis hopefully averted. Oh, oh, what a great first show back of the poll list, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, the kiddos don't want to go to bed. The cat's opening my door, and then I spill my iced tea all over my desk. Wonderful. Cheers. The little bit that I had left. Okay. Now that that's done, and done with all that, now we can finally talk about Batman number 11. By the way, real quick, guys, thank you all for being here. The few of you that are watching across the different platforms, YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, X, Kick, Blaze, and VP Zone. Thank you all for being here watching. And if anybody's watching this on the replay, I appreciate that as well. Please be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe or the follow, and the share or the repost. We're working our way. We're creeping up our way to 450 on YouTube, and we're creeping our way to 400 on Rumble. All the other platforms, I like to give people options. Multi-streaming is the future. Multi-platform streaming is the future. And the future is now. So, anyway. Whew. Batman number 11. I have the first 3 issues of this series. It is a slow burn. It is slow to get going. I've heard that around issue 6 or 7, it finally starts to pick up. But I did like what I was reading. It was just, at the time, I had to stop, for anybody that's unaware. About this time last year, I pretty much had to stop buying comics and all that stuff because I had lost my job last year around this time and going through it. The wife did too at the same time. Shitty timing. We're both gainfully employed again. Thank God. Thank the Lord. But it was a little bit. So I have first 3 issues of this run. I've heard that it is good, just if nothing but a slow burn until you hit about issue 7, maybe 8, something like that. And then it starts to pick up from there. But Matt Faction writer Jorge Jimenez, it's not George Jimenez, it's Jorge Jimenez because, I'm waiting. I don't know the difference apparently. And some liberal at New York Comic Con had to lecture me on that it's not George, it's Jorge. Yeah, by the way, I doubt she's watching, but if you are, she was rude as fuck about it. But no, this is one of those things where it's got Batman's greatest hits of villains and also DC villains just in general, because you got Vandal Savage is involved in this storyline. So if you like storylines that involve your hero kind of being the underdog, because Vandal Savage is the mayor of Gotham and in charge of the GCPD, and all that. And Jim Gordon's on the outs. If you like Batman kind of having his back up against the wall and having the entire city against him, while still trying to fight his typical rogues gallery of villains as well, go pick this up. Again, it's kind of a slow burn the first few issues. It's kind of building up the story, setting the groundwork for future story arcs like the one they're in now. Probably I got to get caught up on it, but I can still safely recommend this as definitely a pull list recommendation. Are we in Marvel? We are in Marvel. We did it. We are at our last publisher. We're just going to throw open a couple here. We're not going to go through all of Marvel. We're just going to throw up the ones that I want to focus on. And this also, because why the fuck not? Let's go to the bottom here. You got the Infinity Comics. I don't pay attention to them. The Marvel DC Spider-Man Superman crossover event. This is in its third printing now. You can pick up the third prints. Captain America by Mark Gruenwald. The Volume 3 Omnibus is going to be available for sale this week, $125. Then this is just the base cover. This is alternative cover, still $125. If you like omnibuses, if you like Epic Collection, stuff like that, pick them up while you can. Like this one right here, the X-Men Epic Collection Mutant Massacre. I'm going to try and pick it up probably in the next couple of weeks, in the next paycheck or two, because these Epic Collections, Marvel does not like making money. Clearly, Marvel does not reprint their Epic Collections, and they do not reprint their omnibuses. Not anymore, it seems like. If they did, they would be making shit ton of money hand over fist, but they don't seem to want to do that. So, with that said, get your Epic Collections, get your omnibuses when you can out of Marvel, because you don't know when the hell they're ever going to be available again. And buying them secondhand is going to cost you a hell of a lot more than buying them right up front at the retail value. Volume 1 of the newest Captain America title, so for first 6 issues of that. But all right, let's dive into the Marvel stuff. So Amazing Spider-Man number 32. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I have not touched Amazing Spider-Man since Zeb Wells did the Dark Web crossover event. And Spider-Man was being cucked by Mary Jane and self-insertion Paul, as we like to call him. By the way, Paul's dead. Yay! I can at least thank Joe Kelly for that. But from my understanding, I have been keeping up to date. I've been kind of reading blurbs about each issue to get an idea of what's going on in the story. And Joe Kelly's just missing the mark every step of the way, it seems. Some people are saying that Joe Kelly is kind of finding his groove now, but he took over in issue, 40-something of Zeb Wells' last run, and then now he's 32 issues into his own run that he's been writing from issue 1. So, that's a combined, probably 60-something issues. If he's just now finding his footing, that is a real friggin' problem. If he's just now finding his footing. But, I mean, this jackhole right here, C.V. Cebulski, he just doesn't know how to say no. He doesn't know how to tell people that their ideas suck or that their writing sucks. He lets everything just fly out the door. He don't give a shit. He's collected a paycheck. And he's a piece of shit, in my mind. Fuck you, C.V. Cebulski. It is what it is. I'm opinionated. And if there's any guests that are checking out my channel and checking out my content to see if you want to come on the channel or not, and you don't like my opinions, at least when it comes to comics, that's understandable. But then you know what? I guess you're just not worth my time anyway. We could disagree on things, but come and talk to me about our disagreements. Don't just avoid me and be like, I don't like how he talks about Marvel or how he talks about DC, or I don't like his politics or this, that, and the other. Be an adult. Let's have a conversation. That's the difference. But anyway, Amazing Spider-Man. Until I start to hear otherwise, because I sure shit won't read this myself right now. Until I start to hear otherwise, Amazing Spider-Man, as much as it pains me to say it because I love Amazing Spider-Man, is going to be just a completely avoid it until September when Legacy issue number 1000 comes out, because those covers are definitely going to be collector's items for the future. So I will be getting those. I'm going to tell you that right now. but strictly because those covers are going to be collector's issues because it is milestone number 1,000 issue. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be touching Amazing Spider-Man right now. But then also, this just kind of topping on the cake of what the hell I was talking about, plus a special backup story celebrating Disability Pride Month. Say celebrating disabled and gay pride. Bad enough Pride Month was June, but now there's Disability Pride. So, hey, let's celebrate the degenerates, and now let's sable the degenerates that are also in wheelchairs. Hey, go figure, man. But yeah, no, screw that. Iron Man number 7. I have not read this. I have not picked this up. I have been wanting to pick it up, but again, because of how the whole second half of the last year went, the whole job thing for a while, and then trying to get back on our feet and everything like that. I do have ways to read this. I have so many other things I need to read too. Iron Man is not at the top of my list to read. But I have not heard anything bad about this. And we're at the point with Marvel, and even with DC too, that if you don't hear anything negative about a book, you can at least go into it expecting like an okay story. Either that, or you haven't heard anything about it because nobody gives a shit about Marvel anymore for like 95% of their titles. It's just the reality of the situation. I'm the messenger in this situation. I'm not giving an opinion. It's kind of fact at this point. But War Machine, Rhodey returns. War Machine returns after the events of the first arc. Tony Stark has taken on a surprising new role in the Marvel Universe. His allies are wondering what this means for the Avengers, and what in the hell is he building in the Hulk's old Gamma base. Tony's old buddy James Rhodes, a.k.a. Rhodey, a.k.a. the War Machine, pays Tony a visit to investigate, but while Tony and War Machine catch up, an old Iron Man rogue returns with a crack. My guess is going to be it's Whiplash. Because, crack of the whip. That's my guess. If you're an Iron Man fan, again, I haven't heard anything bad about this, but I haven't heard anybody praise this either. But if you're an Iron Man fan, you have something to look forward to with Rhodey and War Machine coming back, so go ahead and pick it up if you want. We put it on the pull list because you gotta have something on Marvel to be willing to put on there. The Punisher. Now, I started reading the first issue of this just the other day. Benjamin Percy is one of the better writers at Marvel right now. He wrote Helvermeet. He's going to be, now, as much as a mistake as I think the Midnight line that's coming up this fall is going to be, he's writing the Fantastic Four, Midnight Fantastic Four line. So, I mean, you can watch in the video. I have a video on the channel discussing my initial thoughts when they announced the Midnight Universe, the Midnight line out of Marvel about a month ago or so. I'll give it a shot. I'll give Midnight Fantastic Four a shot because Benjamin Percy is writing it. But Benjamin Percy is one of the like decent to, dare I say, good writers at Marvel right now. This Punisher is more in line with what we expect out of a Punisher title. So it's without saying too much. It's Frank Castle. I won't say at his finest, but we're getting a Frank Castle that is closer to form than we have before when they stopped writing or publishing Punisher books, because they haven't published Punisher books up until about the last year ago that weren't reprints in like a decade, something like that, I think. So take it for what it's worth. Punisher number 6, that's going to be on the pull list. Speaking of Benjamin Percy, he's also apparently writing a Deadpool title. This I had no idea about. Deadpool, I used to love Deadpool. I loved Deadpool back in the early 2000s before it was cool to like Deadpool. I liked Deadpool back in the late 90s before it was cool to like Deadpool. I am so burnt out on Deadpool. I really am, guys. I might give it a shot because, again, Benjamin Percy, he's not bad. He's not a terrible writer. I don't think Deadpool. I mean, I'll read the first issue. I'll probably go read it the frowned upon way, just to see if it's worth it, and then I'll go and find the back issues later if I end up liking the number 1. But I don't know, man. I'm worn out on Deadpool. I have it on the pull list because Benjamin Percy's writing it, but now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm going to take it off. I think Deadpool needs to be put on the shelf for a little bit. I really do. Until Marvel can unfuck itself from top to bottom, Deadpool needs to be put on the shelf. Because Deadpool is also, in some ways, Deadpool has also become like a freaking alphabet mafia icon, and like that's not who Deadpool is. Um, it just doesn't. Yeah, moving on. Marvel swimsuit special, brand new beach day. For anybody who is all about your marketing, all about Marvel marketing for Spider-Man Brand New Day, which both they're doing a comic run on it right now to promote the movie and the movie that's coming out at the end of July, which it looks good, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be taking the kids to go see it. They want to see it. I want to see it. Definitely getting one of those collectible popcorn buckets cups. If we can swing it, if we'll get too mad about it. But swimsuit issue, it's a swimsuit issue. You like looking at drawn women in bikinis, bathing suits. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. J. Scott Campbell has a cover for this that I believe he's selling privately on his website. But here you can see just on the side here. Here's some covers. Some better than others. A couple alternatives. The main cover is probably my favorite one because it's Spider-Man. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. Just going to say that right there. Then you got Mary Jane, got Felicia Hardy. Swap the two, in my opinion. Then there you go. You're all set. The only hesitation on this is that this guy right here is involved in the writing team, but there's going to be multiple writers because it's 40 pages. It's going to be all a bunch of like probably 6 or 7 page or 8 page stories of different characters. Cody Ziegler wrote the most recent run of Miles Morales, and then he also wrote what was it? Ultimate Incursion Miles Morales, which was complete and utter dog shit. Cody Ziegler, my disdain for Cody Ziegler as a writer runs almost as deep as my disdain for Denise Camp, but not as much because Cody Ziegler just it's stereotypical what you get out of him. It's the race grift for the most part. So he also just he can't even do it. He can't even write it in a talented way. Like his writing is just bad. It is what it is. But enough of Cody Ziegler. This isn't even really about the story. This isn't even really about the writing. The reason why this is on here is because of the swimsuits. Y'all know what it is. It's that time of year. You can get swimsuit issues out of Marvel. You're getting swimsuit issues out of Udon Comics, Udon Entertainment, with a Street Fighter swimsuit issue. You're getting a Darkstalker swimsuit issue. And then you're probably going to be getting some swimsuit issue out of DC probably at some point, maybe. I don't know if DC does swimsuit issues. I think they did at one point in time. Who knows? Marvel still does them, though. They brought them back 1 or 2 years ago, and people are enjoying them. So, yeah, go get a Marvel swimsuit issue. Now, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, what if Secret Wars? What if the Ultimate Universe survived the Secret Wars? Goodbye, Marvel Universe. Starring Peter Parker, our beloved friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, as he is forced to live in a not-so-friendly neighborhood after losing everything. What becomes of the original Ultimate Universe in a post-Secret War landscape? How did they defeat the Beyonder? And who does Spider-Man become after losing everything? So, instead of Miles Morales losing everything in the original Ultimate Universe, was it Universe 1610 being destroyed and Miles and the Maker being the only two making it over to the Prime Universe. Instead, it's going to be the other way around. It's going to be 616 Peter losing everything with the 616 being destroyed, and Peter and the other characters, maybe a couple other characters, being pulled into the 1610 original Ultimate Universe. Not a big fan of the more modern what ifs. The what ifs from back in the 70s, the 80s. Those are fun to read because it definitely gives you things to think about that were never explored early on at Marvel Comics. But like so much time's gone by. There's been so many different types of stories told for a lot of different characters. And the what ifs, a lot of the what ifs are just like they're not even necessarily original. They're not even necessarily overly creative. But this one gives me a little bit of hope. Alex Packnadel, I can't recall what he writes off the top of my head, but I have read some of his books before. Let's say, Red Goblin. I liked Red Goblin. That is what he's doing. I have been enjoying the Casey Jones. I was able to get a couple issues of that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Casey Jones, Alex Packnadell is doing that, and then Cyclops. I enjoyed this 5-issue, 6-issue Cyclops series, 5-issue. That's that he did late last year into early this year. That's where I remember his name from. So Alex Packnadell, dude, hopefully you crush it in this What If Secret Wars. We're going to put it on the poll list. Star Wars is dead. We all know it. Why the fuck, after a decade, I think it's a decade, if not more than a decade, after Rogue One released in theaters, why are we getting a Saw Gerrera comic book? A Star Wars Rogue One Saw Gerrera comic book. Why are we getting that? It's so dumb. Like, why now? Star Wars is effectively dead. Like, if they wanted to do this, why not do it like a year after Rogue One came out? It's just, I don't know. It's Disney being stupid. It's Lucasfilm being stupid. And it's Marvel being stupid. So, yeah, take this one, throw it on the floor at your local comic shop. Ask them why they even got this in their store. There's really nothing else to say about it. Yeah, that's people have been like Immortal Thor. I'm not some people have been. I'm not a Thor guy, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, and then this what we got here, the last thing. Actually, no, we'll save this for another time because this is final order cutoffs for this week. Amazing Spider-Man 34, Moon Knight, Uncanny X-Men, Geiger, Iron Man. So basically what final order cutoff is basically it's putting it for pre-orders with your local comic shops. So this way they know how many copies of different comics they need to order from the distributors. This way they can satisfy the demand at their stores. But there's a couple out here. Conan the Barbarian, you want to read that, you want to pick that up. Conan's been fun out of Titan Comics. Ghost Pepper is great out of Image. Scorched, Supernatural, a bunch of other stuff. Just a bunch of good stuff and a whole bunch of bad stuff. But yeah, just check with your comic shop basically every week to see what's on final order cutoff. Give them a call, or maybe when you go on the weekends, check with them. We'll say, hey, what's coming up for final order cutoff next week, and they'll give you a list of what's there. Basically, all it does is it's going to ensure that your local comic shop has enough quantity, enough stock to be able to get you what you need. Usually, if you put in final order cutoff with them, they'll guarantee you a book if you just open a box with them. That's all. But let's refresh this. Before we get into this real quick, let's see. What do we got? We got Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. This is some news. It was announced over the weekend that Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, the open beta, is launching July 24th, both on PlayStation and on PC. I know I'm going to be getting in on that because this looks like it's going to be a hell of a fun game. I didn't get to do... Is it this one? No. I didn't get to do a reaction initially. Whoa. There we go. I didn't get to initially do a reaction of a reveal of the Doctor Doom team in this game, but so I have that up now. This is the reveal trailer. We'll just get on with it. Doctor Doom. So the team is Doctor Doom. Who else was in the team? It's Doctor Doom, Magneto, Green Goblin, and Carnage. That is going to be my number one team. Yeah, it's just if you like fighting games, if you like Marvel vs. Capcom, if you like Dragon Ball Fighters, which came out about almost a decade ago at this point, I think. If you like 2D or not 2D, but if you like side-scrolling arcade fighters with that team assist element, there you go. And the designs for the character designs are just friggin' awesome. So definitely. This is going to be my choice of the characters I probably play as. Green Goblin and Carnage. Definitely going to build a team around them. Do the best I can with that. Look at Carnage. Oh, so badass. And Goblin with the assist there. Oh, got him. And then what was it? This weekend they announced the final team, which is, so you got your Marvel, your Avengers team there, which is the Fighting Avengers, which is Cap, Shuri, female Black Panther, Hulk, and then Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Man. Then you got your X-Men team of Wolverine, Storm, Magic, and I don't know, that's some kind of android thing back there. I don't know what the hell that is. But then you got your third team of Spider-Man, Penny Parker, Star-Lord, and of course they got to push Miss Marvel down our fucking throat again. I'm so tired of Miss Marvel. Then we have the team we just talked about: Doctor Doom, Magneto, Green Goblin, and Carnage. That's the best team in my opinion. But now we're getting the final team that they're announcing, Ghost Rider's team, which I think they're calling like the Samurai team or something like that. But we got Robbie Reyes. It is Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider. It's not It's not Danny Ketch. It's not Johnny Blaze. It's Robbie Reyes. Then we get Blade, or Boy Blade. Blade's probably the best character on this team. His Marvel. This is a much better design than his Marvel Rivals design. So he's definitely got that going for him, and that's just badass. He's a samurai sword all the way, badass. Loki, we got Loki here doing Loki things. And we got new stages to go along with it, including Asgard. And we'll skip over Loki. And then here we go. We got, as I was saying, I'm kind of getting burnt down on Deadpool. Now, the one fun thing is that Deadpool's moves, some of his moveset is inspired by other side-scrolling arcade fighters from over the decades. Some Street Fighters, some Darkstalkers, and some other of the titles, and some other of the arcade fighter titles in there as well. But like, again, just I'm so tired of Deadpool. I really am. It just he's fourth wall breaking and all that stuff. And then this is the Samurai Outriders is what they're calling this team. But there you go. There you have it. Real quick, Peter Parker, Spider-Man Brand New Day, finally got the suit right. Seems like Sony is finally breaking the mold that Marvel Studios has set with putting a bunch of random ass fucking lines and shit in legacy characters' costumes, making them look real dumb and modern. So yeah, there's that. Open beta for Tokon Fighting Souls, July 24th through 26th on PlayStation and PC. Now, this is pretty much the wrap up of it, folks. We're going to get into it. Just real quick, brief summary of my recommendations for this week for your poll list. In no particular order, we're going to start at the bottom. We're going to go the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Volume 8 trade paperback Saturday Morning Adventures. We got What If Secret Wars out of Marvel. By the way, this trade paperback for TMNT out of IDW. Image Comics, the 40th anniversary of the Transformers movie, issue number 2 of 3-issue run. It's basically a reprint of the same comic from 40 years ago, just a new cover. Yeah, Spawn 377, She-Spawn number 3, both out of Image. Radiant Black 43 out of Image. Punisher number 6 out of Marvel. Power Rangers Unlimited number 1 out of Boom Studios. You know what? Well, can we do this? There we go. Marvel swimsuit special. Make sure you go get your Marvel swimsuit special, boys. Definitely for the material, the substance. The Last Starfighter out of Mad Cave. Again, a continuation of the sci-fi classic story from the 80s. Iron Man number 7. Facsimile edition of Hellboy Seed of Destruction number 1. Dick Tracy number 18 out of Mad Cave Studios. The Dead Man number 2 at DC Comics. Dead Acre Black Badge out of Vault Comics. This is probably going to be my sleeper for the week. I'm going to see if I can grab this myself. I feel like weird westerns and supernatural stuff. Batman Green Arrow and The Question Arcadia number 4. Again, when you're at your comic shops this week, see if you can grab 1 through 3 along with it. If you haven't read it, I know I'm going to try to. Either that or you wait till the end of September for when they release the hardcover collection of all 4 books, and you do that. and then Batman number 11 by Matt Faction and Jorge Jimenez. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got going on for you today. Thank you so much for being here and joining me. Got a Twitch bot. We're gonna hit block. There we go. Yeah. Keep an eye on the channel. Please hit the like, subscribe, follow, share, repost, all that stuff. Follow me on X. You can go to streamers, streemrz.com/u/ComixDad. It's essentially like Linktree. It is in the description. You can do that. Follow me on all the places that I'm at, which I'm now on Instagram. I finally buckled and made an Instagram today. So go ahead and check that out. Also, real quick, there is a new social media website that is in closed beta right now. I was able to get into it, and it seems like it's very creator friendly. It's called Brood Social. Now I'm already making a couple of cents. But it's just another alternative social media platform. But they're going to enable being able to direct stream, do live streams onto the platform. You can upload videos and content, analytics, ad revenue. It's eventually when they're able to get to a point like that. On the ground level, they're fledgling platform, trying to do their best to just get things worked out, so when they officially fully launch and come out of closed beta, they're ready to go. But if you are part of the closed beta on Brood Social, go check me out at ComixDad. If not, keep an eye out. I'm going to be talking about Brood Social as more and more stuff comes out about it, as they get closer and closer to doing a full launch of it. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for me today. And also, real quick, there we go. We're going to get that set up. Because on Rumble, even though, guys, I'm not going to be participating in the Rumble Creator Program moving forward, we still are going to show people love on Rumble. We're still going to raid out to people. Who are we going to raid out to on Rumble today? We're going to raid out to my buddy Air Conda today. So let me go ahead and grab that. I'll set up that raid real quick. Again, guys, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, follow, share, repost, all that stuff. We're approaching 450 on YouTube. We're approaching 400 on Rumble. Just check out all the other places as well. Tomorrow, I'm going to be working on uploading some videos that I clipped apart from the Saturday stream this past weekend, the first official episode of Savage Comics Bros. Title is a work in process. Our progress from me and my buddy Professor Savage Dad. We had where it's a round table where we're going to have panelists come on, guest panelists come on, hang out with us, talk comics and comic book news and all that stuff. This Thursday, so in 2 days, come back for a new episode of Talkin' Shop. We did not have Talkin' Shop last week. My guest Smooth, the DJ, he was having some internet issues. We are rescheduling. He's going to probably make an appearance on Savage Comics Bros. And also he is going to make a Talkin' Shop appearance next month when I am freed up again on my schedule for that. But this week on Talkin' Shop, Perro Brown of the Rippaverse. We're going to be talking Dirty Deeds #1 because it has been shipped out. People have got it. People are reading it. I have read it. I got to work on a review for that also, because after I have her on the show, I'm going to drop my review video for it. But also Dirty Deeds #2, which is in pre-order. The Dirty Deeds novel, which is pre-order on Rippaverse. She has also got Smuggler Stitch, which is coming out later this year out of Rippaverse. She a busy lady. And for everything that she's gone through, more power to her. And yeah, that's how happening Thursday. And then this Saturday is 4th of July. I'm not doing anything. So, yeah, that's all I got, guys. And then the last thing that I have to share with you today are, obviously, comics are good for you, so remember that. But also, remember, most importantly, Seth Rogen sucks. Have a good night, everybody.